Mueller makes a deal with Flynn to get Donald Trump. Period.
Tell us what we know at this point about this indictment.
Well, what we know right now is that 13 Russians and 3 companies have been indicted for hacking the election. This is really the most aggressive stance and position that the authorities within the intelligence community have taken against Russia, particularly from a business standpoint, against the Russians for their meddling in the 2016 election. Now, of course, this is breaking as we speak.
More than a year, the president repeatedly discredited the Russia investigation. The government now says Russians did come to the U.S. under false pretenses in 2014 to begin collecting intelligence for their...
Now we have learned from Robert Mueller's indictment that Russia did indeed actively support Trump's campaign while disparaging that of Hillary Clinton.
Now, our crime and justice reporter, you are getting information about possible news from the special counsel's office. What have you learned?
Yeah, that's right, John. So we're just getting the indictment, and I sort of just kind of read through it. Several Russians are named in this indictment, an internet research agency. All it appears connected to the election, to the interference, to the hacking.
First, this story. Special counsel Robert Mueller dropping new indictments in the Russia investigation.
But this is the first action that we are seeing right now that directly relates to the interference that occurred in the 2016 election that President Trump still doesn't really believe actually occurred. Robert Mueller basically now saying not only did it occur, but we know who did it, and called the Internet Research Agency, which is the agency, the front for the Russian spy agencies that U.S.
So we are at a new significant phase in this investigation. As we've talked about before, there was a lot of speculation, right? Where is this headed? If you look, this is not 2 people, it's not 10 people. These are 13 individuals.
It's a systematic effort, right?
Correct.
What does that tell you when you're looking at 13 people?
Well, it tells me a couple things.
And now 13 Russians indicted as of today here. This is production from the special counsel investigation, Shimon.
Yeah, it certainly is a massive production, right? On a large scale here, it says that from at least April 2016 through November 2016, defendants and their co-conspirators, while concealing their Russian identities and organizing affiliation through false personas, began to produce, purchase, and post advertisements on U.S. social media, right? We talked a lot about Facebook.
Right.
Count 2 charges conspiracy to commit wire fraud and bank fraud by Internet Research Agency and 2 of the individual defendants. Counts 3 through 8 charge aggravated identity theft by Internet Research Agency and 4 individuals.
Now, what is that, a joke?
Good evening. For more than a year, the President of the United States has claimed the Russia story is a hoax. Now, a stunning indictment says it is not, no matter what the President has been saying again and again and again. The President's case that this is a witch hunt, a ruse, or a hoax just got weaker. A new string of indictments from Russia's special counsel Robert Mueller's grand jury sees to that. Now, we should say that indictments are not convictions and allegations are not proof. That said,
Breaking news, these developments really driving home the point that the intelligence community was right and the president was wrong on this. Evidence exists of meddling. There is no so-called hoax.
There has been a lot of really good public reporting on how that last part of the Russian attack played out. That's how we know about the Russians buying online ads to try to influence the election.
Now, what is that, a joke?
And the Russian Twitter bots and the
Russian propaganda campaign helped the Russians form an entire army of automated Twitter bots.
Work of bots and trolls. And one of the most skilled countries at deploying them is Russia. So how do these entities actually work to spread disinformation? A bot is short for robot. It's an automated social media account that operates without human intervention.
It's like a plane flying on autopilot. You can try and
created bots on Twitter to promote hashtags like war.
You know, who would have thought that the first part of this three-prong attack to actually result in real criminal charges against Russians wouldn't be hacking into the Democratic Party, wouldn't be hacking into state voter rolls. It would be this third prong, the stuff they did to try to influence public opinion online.
He was running this operation. They had a budget as big as $1.25 million a month.
Wow.
and a budget of nearly $1.5 million. That the Russians spent over $1 million, $1.2 million on project. They call it a project that included the U.S. interference operation. So they spent over $1 million. It's 73 million rubles, Russian rubles, and over $1.25 million in this operation.
And, you know, it was sophisticated enough that they sent people to the United States. They sent them to purple states, Colorado, Virginia, Florida. Apparently they knew enough about states that were in play in the 2016 election. And again, extraordinarily successful in this operation, Jim.
Remarkably politically savvy there, and there's a lot of tradecraft.
Is to actually go to the Department of Justice website themselves and read this 37-page indictment. It is a page-turner. It reads like a spy novel, as your reporter suggests. The depth and complexity and sophistication of the effort on the part of the Russians to alter the impact of the 2016 election.
You've noted in that indictment, as you see there, it shows enormous savviness on the part of the Russians here. For instance, targeting swing states, Virginia, Colorado, Florida, with these efforts, in addition to the tradecraft.
The extraordinary detail that it includes about this information warfare campaign.
This one is extremely detailed. I think it's written for the American public to understand how deeply in danger America is from the Russian meddling in our elections.
Its level of detail is amazing here. Some of the things that are mentioned in the indictment, they use these bots and trolls. I thought I was talking about Lord of the Rings here. It is stunning, the level of detail that went into this piece of document. This is rare. This is 37 pages of details, like right down to the amount of money that the Russians spent to do this operation. Really stunning details. Really, this indictment is so extensive. It's remarkable in terms of the work that went into this, the intelligence that was gathered by the FBI, by the Department of Justice, perhaps others, to put this together. Is truly, it gives you a really good idea of just how well planned, how well thought out, the money behind this operation. Everything that the Russians were dealing with here and how sophisticated they were.
The takeaway I have from reading this very detailed indictment is that Mueller is telling a story. And this
I mean, this is detailing an operation that we didn't know about. This is extraordinarily complicated.
It's a level of detail we have not seen before. Intelligence assessments can't go that far in revealing some of the detail they have. Here we have...